Hello all and welcome to my channel DevOps Mela. So guys, in this video tutorial we'll talk about how do we deploy ASP.NET web application on Azure Kubernetes using Azure DevOps CI/CD pipeline. Okay, before I go ahead and proceed further, uh, I would like to call up some name like Raghu, Charu, Sridhar, and Kailash, and there are many more who have taken time to put down in comment that this is what they are looking for next. Okay, so I just want to tell you guys, I'm reading through your comments. If you're giving a feedback and if it is feasible for me, I will definitely make a video on it. Okay, and plus I have conducted a survey, like a poll in between, whether I should make a AKS CI/CD video or should I make a AWS DevOps end-to-end video. So there was a 50-50% votes which I got. For 50% I got for AKS, 50% I got for AWS DevOps. So guys, I will be making videos on both the topics now. So here we go. This is a video, a complete end-to-end a Kubernetes service video wherein I'll be deploying a .NET application on Kubernetes, and even I'm making a video on Azure AWS DevOps wherein I'll be covering the complete AWS DevOps, and one of my video on AWS DevOps is already there on my channel. You can look for code commit video. It's end-to-end code commit video, and slowly and steadily I'm coming up with code build, code release, and all the other topics of AWS DevOps. So guys, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe because there are so many videos lined up right now. And if you have already subscribed, please put down in your comment. There are various ways you can send me your feedback. You can put it in the comment box. You can write an email to me on devopsmela@gmail, or you can even visit my website, and you can just simply go on devopsmela.in. You can visit this website, and over here there's an option. You can send me a feedback from here too. Okay, so there are various options. You can go ahead and look for the option, and this is my website wherein I put in all the latest videos, so you can go and check this website also. Okay, so the agenda is we'll be creating a .NET application, and we'll deploy that .NET application on Azure Kubernetes Services, and we'll be using Azure CI/CD. So this will be completely automated process. Okay, so there are few prerequisites. There are few prerequisites which you have to take care before even coming to this screen. Like you need to set up a ACR, that's a container registry. If I'm on portal right now, so if I go in my container registry, I already have a container registry set up. Okay, and I already have one single node AKS cluster set up. So if I go in my container registry, this is my container registry. So if you go in my container registry, I don't have any image right now. So it's a completely blank. Let's wait. It's taking a bit of time. So there's no image right now. And if you go in my Kubernetes services, I have a single node Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So I have a single node Kubernetes cluster, which is running right now. So these are the two things which you need to go ahead and pre-set up. Okay. Now, if you guys are not familiar how exactly these are done, because this will be a completely automated, we'll be having multiple scripts, and the scripts would be running through a CI/CD pipeline, and things will be deployed very quickly. But if you're not aware how, basically if you want to do all this thing manually, how exactly that is done. Okay, so if you're not aware, if you're not familiar with it, so go back to my channel. I have a complete series on ASP.NET application wherein I am creating a image out of a DockerFile, how the DockerFile is written, how that image gets like pushed into an ACR, and from ACR how the image like through that image how do we how we deploy that application on AKS. Everything is there. Just look for DevOps Mela, just write in the search box DevOps Mela ASP.NET. It will take you to this series, ASP.NET Code Deployment Series. So if you go inside it, you will see all the information. Like I have covered how do we create an image and how do we push that image in ACR, how do we create a AKS cluster, and how do we push image like from ACR, how do we pick that image from the ACR and deploy it on AKS. So all manual, everything is manual. So you can go and look at this playlist and you'll understand how exactly things are done manual first. Okay, then you can come back to this new video which I'm creating, wherein I'm deploying things on using CI/CD pipeline. So if you understand manual, well and good, you can directly jump on to this video. And if you have never done, if you have never touched based how things are done manual first, go and look into that series video. Then you will then you'll understand each and every step. Okay, so that's it. Let's go ahead and start with this video now. Okay, guys, let's understand the flow. What exactly we're gonna do in this tutorial video. So firstly, we need a ASP.NET web application. So I already have a web application created. It's a simple web application. It's just displaying welcome to DevOps Mela on the screen when this thing will get deployed on AKS. Okay. And next, we need a Docker file. So Docker file is needed for creating an image out of build. So this is the Docker file what we have. So if I just walk you through this Docker file, in the first line, it's the SDK, Microsoft.NET SDK. I'm creating a directory. All this step will be done inside my agent pool when we'll run through a CI pipeline. Okay, these are all automated. If you are new and if you want to know how exactly this was created, please check my ASP.NET series. I have done this manual over there. Okay, you'll understand more. Okay, let me walk you through the steps. We are creating a directory /app. We are copying all a sample web app. So it's the complete project. The project name is sample web app. We're copying the complete project file, the CS project file into the current directory. Then we are running the .NET restore command. Okay. Now over here we are copying the web app and putting it in again into a complete into the current directory. From here we are running a .NET publish command, and over here we are getting an output web app. This is an output which is getting created. So these are my build process. Okay, and I have a flag no restore because I've already done a restore at this step. Okay, now on these we are creating an image. Okay, so this is my working directory. Again, web app, this is something which output was created. We are copying the build from web app to this directory, and we are running the application entry point.net sample web app.dl. So this is my Docker file. Using this Docker file, my build and my image would be created. And post that, we'll be pushing that image into an ACR. So we already have an ACR created. This is the container registry which is created. And then post that, we'll deploy into a AKS cluster. That's Azure Kubernetes cluster. In order to deploy, we need two files. Okay, we need a deployment.yml file and we need a service.yml file. So using a service file, we can access that application from outside world, and deployment.yml file will deploy the application for me. So if you see that this is the name of my application and it's getting the image from devopsmelaAKS.azure.ci.io sample web app. This is the image which will get created. As of now, if you go and check my container registry, I don't have any image inside it. If I just go in repositories, I have no image. But once the build pipeline is successful, an image will get created over here. Okay, and we are opening a port 80 over here. So all these files are pre-created. If I just go and show you my application structure, this is my application sample web app. I have my app, and inside this app folder, I have my Docker file. Okay, and I have a folder created manifest. Inside my manifest, I have my deployment.yml and service.yml file. I even have a Azure Pipeline.yml file created. Okay, don't worry, this is something we'll be recreating just for this demo. I'll be deleting this file from my repository, remote repository, and I'll be just recreating this entire thing for you. Okay, so this is my file. This is how the file structure looks. I think that's it from here. Let's go back on Azure CI/CD. This is my repository. So the things are already pushed in my remote repository. So don't worry, guys. I will be putting the complete uh, scripts and everything into my GitHub. Okay. It's mentioned in my description. You can go and refer this application. You can get all this deployment.yml and service.yml and dockerfile from there, and you can use it. Okay, so it will be there in my GitHub repository. You can check the description box for the link. Okay, coming back, this is my repository. So if you see in my repository, I don't have a YAML file, so it's already deleted. We'll be creating everything from scratch. Okay, the first thing first, we'll go in pipelines, and in pipelines, I'll be creating a new pipeline. Okay, in the new pipeline, I'll be creating a YAML. So definitely yes, not a classic YAML one. So I'll select as my repository is in Azure Repos. So I'm selecting Azure Repos. The name of the repository is Simple Web App. So this is what I'm selecting right now. So the Simple Web App, it is automatically detecting that I have an .NET application and things. Okay. Now over here, I'm getting an option of build and push image to Azure Container Registry, deploy to Azure Kubernetes Services. So these are, if I select this option, the Azure YAML file will be created, okay, automatically. Let's go and make use of this default template, and we will go and make changes to that. We'll understand each and every line, what exactly that template is doing, what all tasks the template is running. So let's do this. Okay, now when I click on it, it will look for my subscription. Okay, so it will create a service connection between my Azure DevOps and Azure Cloud, because we are using two services of Azure Cloud. We're using AKS, so we need a service connection created between DevOps to connect to AKS, and even we are connecting to ACR, that's Azure Container Registry. So even we need service connection for that too. So if I go back in my project settings, I don't have any service connection created right now for AKS or even for the ACR. Okay, so I'll show you how automatically the service connection will be created because of this. Okay, if you guys are not aware what exactly service connection is, how do we create a service connection manually, please do check. I have a service connection video as well. So wherein I have walked through how to create a service connection manually, or how to create a service connection automatically. Okay, go and have a check. Okay, now I've select my subscription. This is a subscription. If you go back, this is a subscription which I'm using, DevOps Mela training. So I have selected that subscription. That is the only subscription I have. I will just log in, devopsmela@gmail. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me sign in. Okay guys, I'm signed in now. I'll select the cluster name as devopsmela-AKS. So this is already created. I have a namespace. I'll be using the existing default namespace. So if you want to create a new one, you can select the new option. I'll stick to default namespace. And I have a container registry as well. So devopsmela-ACR is a container registry. This is the image name which will be created, and we're enabling the port 80. Okay, I'll go ahead and validate and configure the template. So what will happen, a YAML file would be created automatically with all the options. Okay, so let's wait while the YAML file is getting created and while the YAML file is getting generated. Okay, in the meanwhile, so it's creating a YAML file as well as it is creating a service connection in the backend. Okay, so we are referring to, so if I go back to my service connection, if I just refresh it, so I should have a service connection created for AKS and even a service connection created for a container registry. So both are created now. Coming back to new pipelines, so let me walk you through what all things and what all tasks we have in this YAML. Firstly, we have the trigger. So we have a trigger set on main. So if there is any change happening on this main branch again, then this pipeline will auto trigger. Repo is self because we are creating this YAML file inside this main branch. So inside this main branch, even this YAML will be created. That is what that step is. Okay, we have multiple variables defined. So if you go and look into the variables, I have Docker registry service connection ID, I have image repository, I have my container registry. So all these variables will be calling these variables in a task what we have done. I have my Docker file path. So if you go and see, I have this Docker file inside my app. Okay, so I have this Docker file right placed over here. Okay, and I have a tag. So we are doing a tagging with the build ID, and this is the image pull secret file, secret which is getting created. We are using a agent pool. On this step, we are using a agent pool, Ubuntu latest. So it will take the latest Ubuntu machine as my agent pool, and there are there are multiple stages what I have in my YAML file. The first stage is to build, wherein we are building an application, then we're pushing that application into an ACR. So this is the stage which we are on to. So if you see this, again I have an agent pool over here. So if you see this task, the first task what we have, this task, so I'm creating a build and pushing an image to a container registry. The command is build and push. This is the command which we are running. We are referring to this image repository. So if you go into image repository, this is where we are referring, sample web app. Then we are referring to the Docker file path. It will go and look into my Docker file. So these are the steps which will run. Okay. Then we have a container registry. So again, at the end, it is pushing the changes to my container Docker registry service connection. Okay. So this is the service connection. It is referring to the service connection over here. Okay, now, and we are tagging it with the name tag. So tag, we are getting it from the build ID. So we are getting the build ID. Based on that, we are getting the tags. Okay, post that, on the step 44 and 45, we are creating a manifest file, and in the manifest file, we are pushing all the changes. Okay, so artifact would be created. That artifact will contain the deployment.yml, and it will contain the service.yml file. Okay, now but if you highlight on this, so you're getting a warning, this option is depreciated, use publish insist. So I can do one thing, I can just remove it, and I'll just using this show assistance, I will run one task called copy. We already have a file, correct? We already have a manifest file created. So I want this manifest file to be copied as a artifact, and when my AKS deployment task is running, I want these manifest file to run. Okay, how exactly we can do it? I will just run a copy file command file. So my source is manifest. Okay, contain what I want to copy. I want to copy all the YAML files. Okay, so let me put it this way. I can put it this way .yml. So everything inside this folder, if you have a YAML file, only the YAML file will get copied. As if now we just have YAML. So this way you can put it, or you can even put it this way. Even that both works. Okay. Target folder, where exactly I want to copy. If you come down in my script, if you see this from where it is referring from the Pipeline.Workspace. So this becomes my target. Okay, I want to copy this all over here. Okay, so what exactly this Pipeline.Workspace is? So it's a predefined variable. So the Pipeline.Workspace is nothing but it's a local path on the agent where all folders for a given build pipelines are created. Okay, that's a local path. Okay, so I'll just put the target folder as well, and I'll keep it as manifest. Okay, hopefully not. Okay, so I'll just make sure it comes, click over here, and I'll make sure we are putting it on the right location. Here we go. So what we are doing, we are copying the manifest, all the YAML files, and we are putting into the target folder. Okay, this way my AKS will be able to get this file when we are running the deploy. Okay, plus we are using our own YAML files because we have already created a YAML, so we are making use of our own YAML file. Okay, we can even add a publish task wherein we can publish all the YAML, like what exactly we are running. And if you want to have a look, we can have a publish task, and we can add a publish task, and we can add all these YAML files over there also. So we'll come to know what exactly we are publishing. So it is publish. Okay, so they can look for this option, publish pipeline artifacts. Okay, so automatically it is taking from here. Okay, and artifact name you can give, we can just give the same name as manifest. Okay, and a manifest folder would be created. So from this path, okay, to be very specific, I'll just give this path also. I can give this path also, and I'm just placing whatever we have inside this file, this folder, it will be placed into this location. Okay, this is nothing but it's an artifact published location from where we can our pipeline, the release pipeline, can even access the files. Okay, so let me put it over here, coming and just put it just below the task, what early task what we have created. Okay, so this is looking good. Let's verify for my local YAML what I have. Okay, looks good. Okay, that's it. So these are the two tasks what we have added. We have added a copy task. We are copying all the files from the manifest folder, and we are putting at this target location. And from that target location, I'm uploading everything in the manifest folder. So this manifest folder which you are seeing over here, once the build is successful, we'll have access to this manifest folder. Okay, so this is about your build task what we are running. Let's come and see the deploy task now. So in my deploy task, again, if you see, I'm calling in, we are using an agent. So we have mentioned the Ubuntu agent at the very top. So that is what we are calling in. Now we're pulling the image from the ACR. We are pulling the image in this task. We are pulling the image from the ACR. Okay. And from there, once the image is pulled, we are running the Kubernetes cluster deploy action. So if you see, we are deploying things on Kubernetes cluster. This is the action deploy. And what exactly it is looking for, if you see this, it is looking for the deployment.yml file first, then the second file it is looking for service.yml file, and in the next step we are pulling up the image secrets which we have mentioned at the very top in the variable. And then okay, that's it from the deploy task as well, wherein we are pulling the image first from the ACR, and post that we are deploying the application on AKS using these two files, the deployment.yml and service.yml files. Okay, let me quickly save this for now, and I'm committing it to my main branch. Done. This is the name. Let me change it. Let me give a good name like web app build and deploy. Okay, let me quickly run this and see what happens. Okay, so my build stage has started. So till now we don't have any registry. Inside my registry there is no repository created. See, no result. Let's wait while the build stage is running. It may take around 1 minute, not more. It should not take more than that. If you see that the checkout, so over here it's checking out all my source code from my Git repository, Azure Repos repository. Now the actual build and push has started, and if you see, it is reading out my Docker file and it is running all the steps mentioned inside my Docker file. Let's wait while this gets over. Okay, let me come back once the build is over. Okay guys, so the build was successful. If you see, there's a one artifact got created. Even the copy task which we were running, that was successful, and even the artifact was published. Okay, let's go and check out this build first. If you see, one artifact got created. So let me see what all things we have in this. So this was a folder which we have created, manifest. Inside this we have a deployment.yml and service.yml. This is what we needed, correct? Let's go back to pipelines, and my deployment task is pending right now, and I need to go and approve it in order to deploy. So let's wait while we go through this build first. Okay, so this is my build stage. The build stage was successful and I got the artifact created. Now let's go in the deployment stage and let's approve it so that the deployment happens. And before that, let me refresh this repository. Okay, before the deployment, there are multiple things again. Okay, we have a sample web app created, repository created with the name sample web app, and because of the tagging, we got this 137 tagged. Okay, this is the image repository which we have inside a container registry. Okay, now before that, I want to go on AKS, and we need to access this AKS also, correct? So I'll be accessing using the Cloud Shell what I have over here. I'll click on this Cloud Shell. There are two things, guys, which you need to do two commands in short which you need to run to connect to your AKS cluster using a Cloud Shell. The first command you need to run to install Kubectl. So the command which is there, Kubectl version, all this command which I'm running, you need to set up this. Okay, you need to install Kubectl. So how exactly you'll do it? I have that command in my notepad. So this is the command which you need to run first. So once you run this, you'll have Kubectl installed. So if you see this, I have Kubectl installed over here. Okay. Second command is to allow Kubectl to connect to Kubernetes cluster. So this is the command which this will help you to connect to the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Without this two command, you cannot connect to AKS from the command line. Okay. So run this two command. I'll have this complete commands in my description as well as in my Git repository. You can go ahead and have a look over there. Okay, let's see if the command is working or not. So kubectl get nodes. So as I said, I have a single node cluster. So yeah, this is ready. Let me see if I have any pods running or not. Okay, there's no pod in the default namespace. So let's keep a watch. So as soon as the pod gets created, we'll see it over here. Okay, let me permit this now. Permission granted. The deployment has started. Let's wait. It's waiting for an agent pool right now. Let's wait. Again, it will take around. Okay, it started. The initialization started. It started the downloading the artifacts. Now it started creating a pull request. It was done. Now we are running the actual task wherein we are deploying the application on a Kubernetes cluster. Now if you see this, see we're seeing the change. A container is getting created. Okay, let's wait while this is over, then we'll go and check. So if you see, the service sample app external IP was also assigned. Okay, now if you come back over here, this was a cluster created and there was an external IP which was assigned. This was the IP which was assigned, and port 80, and this is the name of my web app. So things looking pretty good over here. Let me cancel this now and let me run the get pods command again. Here we go. We have a running pod. If I want to describe it to see more details about the pod, kubectl describe command pod. Just simply copy this. Okay, you get more information about your container ID. More importantly, the port 80, and if you see, created container sample web app, started container sample web app, and if you see from where it has pulled the image, the devopsmela-AKS azure sample web app. This is the place, and the ID 137. So this is what we have, correct? Now if I just want to go and look the service kubectl get service, you'll see the public IP as well. So this was the service load balancer what we have created, and that the name is sample web app. This is the external IP. If I just copy this external IP and if I look it into any incognito mode, I'll see my web app. Let's see if it's working or not. Very good. So this is my web application. Welcome to DevOps Mela. Okay. So guys, this is how you deploy an application, a .NET application on Azure Kubernetes Services. So there are various things, various factors, various scripts we have used in order to automate this entirely. Okay. Now just go through it, and I'll be uploading each and everything in my description and my GitHub repository. Just go through it and let me know if you have any questions. Just put down in the comment box. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.